I don't recall.
I thought her name was Sarah.
Yes, yeah, I think her name is Sarah. Yes. Who knows? Okay, where's my
I
pencil?
moved the alternates up there so they're a little bit more prominent and they could walk up and ask questions.
Oh. Am I Debbie Flynn today?
Oh. Oh, is mine wrong too? I didn't even look. Switch all the name tags.
Oh, she has to get hers, yeah. That's why I'm like, what are you doing? Good, good, good. Good, tired, we're good.
And they have an on-air thing up there now, so we know when they start.
Oh, good. When did that get up there?
He just told me today.
I think it's been there, we just didn't know.
Mhm.
Actually, we don't have to keep, because I thought these green, so I figured everything was on and recording. So I feel like, I brought my glasses.
Hey, young
Oh.
lady.
Yeah, that's
Hello,
good.
sir, how are you? My thing's spinning.
Oh, mine was doing that.
Enjoying this
Man,
weather?
Your hands are cold.
I know. Oh. Maybe because I didn't
Cold
click on
hands, warm
anything
heart.
yet. Yeah. It's because I didn't click on anything yet. I have to use the restroom. Oh, yeah, because I brought my own pencil. I
you
write
should-
better in pencil. No, don't. What time you got? Oh, or it's right there, never mind, 6:20.
Oh, yes, and I didn't.
I think you keep each other's records.
The names, right?
They, sure.
Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the chairperson for the Planning and Zoning Committee. I'd like to call this meeting to order. May we please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Anybody here have questions or comments on the chair about the agenda? Anything on the agenda, issues?
No.
Discuss maybe moving,
They can't hear you, probably.
I know we had possibly suggest moving items, not moving, but
Table?
tabling items 4, 5, and 6.
Let's see, I suggest, if anything, if you're gonna make it, I know the city's gonna come up and ask if we potentially table item number 3. I think we could review items
2,
1 through 4 and potentially table item 5 for 6s. I think it's way too much in too short a time. But,
Right.
Wait, what? Items what?
And
4, 5, and 6.
I think we could actually review items 1 through 3.
Oh, that's
or
what you said.
1 through 4, and probably potentially table items 5 and 6. And I know the city, planning and zoning is asking us to potentially table item number 3.
So not only just do items 4 of,
Do number 1, 2,
and 4.
4, if we table number 3, and then 5 and 6 potentially table,
All right.
potentially. would council, would be okay with that if we decide to do that on the agenda review?
You'll have to make a
Motion.
motion and have it approved. However, I was going to have staff come up and just discuss about item 3, about that being removed. And also, I believe the applicant is here for items 4 through 6. So if you'd like to
Okay.
ask them for any comment.
I would like to, first, if we could, well, go ahead and talk, but I would like to see if potentially we could move up the swearing of the commissioner
I was about to say.
to come up here, so we could at least have Mr. Rose come up and take his seat up here if that's possible. And
Yes,
are
we
you,
can.
and can you swear in the alternates as well, or can that be done? Can that happen now today?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay. Please.
Hello? I will read this, but you can.
Okay, yes.
Are you reading instead of?
No,
Oh my God.
it's fine.
Okay. That's fine. Use your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Ken Rose,
A citizen of the state of Florida
a citizen of the state of Florida
and of the United States of America,
and of the United States of America,
being an appointed member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the city of Minneola,
being an appointed member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the city of Minneola,
do here solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the state of Florida,
that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold this position, and that I will well and faithfully perform duties as a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the city of Minneola, Florida, of which here I am about to enter.
that I am duly qualified to hold this position, and I will well and faithfully perform the duties as a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the city of Minneola, Florida, of which I am about to enter.
So help me God. Thank you. Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
I know we're all the way in back here, but welcome. Stretching.
Are you swearing in the 2 alternates as well?
I certainly can.
Please.
I know it's dangerous. Yes.
A citizen of the state of Florida and the United States of America. And being an appointed member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the city of Minneola. Do here solemnly swear. That I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the state of Florida.
Couldn't find the right channel.
That I am duly qualified to hold this position. And that I will well and faithfully perform the duties as an alternate member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the city of Minneola, Florida, of which I am about to enter.
And that I will faithfully perform duties as an alternate member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for the city of Minneola, Florida, of which I am about to enter.
I don't think he got this.
Congratulations, Liz.
I didn't see it either. I'll work off this, that's fine. I have a copy myself as well.
All right, are there any public comments on anything that is not on the agenda? That is not on the agenda. If you do have public comments on any item that is not on the agenda, please step forward, mention your name, your address, and sign in, please. Going once, going twice.
So,
Sold. All right. Minutes. Does the commissioners up here right now have any questions, concerns, or issues with the minutes
Yep.
from October 6th?
I make a motion to approve the minutes for October 6th as written.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You can vote.
Motion carries.
If anyone's going to speak tonight, I'm just going to go ahead and swear everyone in. So if you wouldn't mind just standing up and raising your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
That's not it.
Thank you.
Good evening, and just looking at what's on the screen, it looks like there's some sort of error with the PowerPoint.
There it is.
Yeah,
What is happening here?
and Brad, this thing's got some fonts embedded into it. I don't know if you're seeing them on your end.
He's moving remotely our screens right now. Yeah, I don't know what you want me to do about that.
All right, I'll tell you what, perhaps I can try to fix it on my end and resend it. I feel like we're gonna need words tonight.
Probably would help.
So, I'm not sure if there's anything else on the agenda we can move to while I try to get this resolved. I will tell you, staff is requesting to pull agenda item number 3 from consideration from tonight's agenda. It's not ready, so we'd request that just be removed from the agenda. No date certain to come back.
All right, so the staff is recommending tabling item 3 for a future date.
We don't have a date certain yet, but we're requesting to table it for now. And also, to make a clarification, an earlier version of the agenda tab said it was a council request. It was not. This was a staff-generated effort. Just to make that clarification, the tab's been adjusted to reflect that.
Okay, thank you. All right, based on that, can I get a motion from one of my fellow commissioners, please?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, make a motion to table ordinance, put my glasses on, item 3, ordinance 2025-16, SEB 1, buildings over 18,000 square feet.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do you need time for the item number 2? 5 minutes? Please be patient with us, ladies and gentlemen, as everything here is digitized and while he works that out. I will open up the floor again if there's anybody who wants any public comments on anything not on the agenda while we wait.
Everybody happy then, I guess.
Everybody's happy, good to go.
Mr. Chairman, if it's your will, you could also hold a brief recess.
Say again?
If it's your will, you could also hold a brief recess and allow them time to work on that.
Good to go.
It's up to you.
I would like to, I don't have to make a motion for that, right? We're good?
You can make,
Okay, I would like to make a motion to make a brief recess, 10-minute recess. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Chairman, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I think there is a gentleman that may want to speak publicly. I'm calling you forward, sir. I
Go
can
ahead.
see you hesitating.
We don't bite, sir.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening, Planning and Zoning Department and Public of
If I may,
Minneola.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
Sorry.
Can you please state your name, your home address, and sign in there, please?
Yeah, Leo Velez, 2120 Emil Jana Road, Claremont, Florida, 34711.
Thank you.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Planning and Zoning Department and public of Minneola. My name is Leo Velez with Minneola Mini Golf. In the process of applying for a beer and wine consumption on premises license, we were surprised to find out that we would have to apply for a special exception permit. We were always told that we would only need to check zoning to make sure that we were a certain distance away from churches and schools, to which we comply. Applying for the permit would not only be a financial burden, but it would also add more time to this lengthy process, as after this approval, we would still need to go through the approval of the Health Department and Florida Revenue before being able to fully submit this application. Therefore, realistically, we would not be able to attain the permit prior to the holiday season as anticipated, which is vital to our family-run business. Under Section 102.343, any commercial recreational facility needs to apply for that permit. Tonight, I'm here to make the case that Minneola Mini Golf should not be classified as a commercial recreational facility, but more as a retail with accessory entertainment. Our main store is retail selling chips, drinks, and merchandise with an accessory entertainment including a few arcade machines, complimentary table and yard games, as well as mini golf to enhance the customer experience. The sale of beer and wine is incidental to our primary operation as a retail activity. We are focused on a family-friendly environment where besides waters and sodas and juices, we are only seeking beer and wine refreshment instead of a full-service bar. I don't fault the city for classifying us as a commercial recreational facility, as our business name may be misleading. During the discussion of our creation of the business entity, we decided to just file under Minneola Mini Golf instead of both Minneola Mini Golf and LSV Wholesale for accounting purposes. According to the B1 zoning in Minneola, retail stores are permitted by right and no special exception is needed. When going through our BTR, the inspections went through the main building of our retail store and not the mini golf, further showing the retail nature of our operation. Therefore, we would like to be classified as a retail with accessory entertainment rather than a commercial recreational facility, thus exempting us from needing an exception permit. We appreciate your consideration in this matter. Thank you.
Do you have any questions or concerns regarding these comments? Anybody?
Well, I'm kind of defer to Jennifer on some of those reclassifications and because
I think our planner is here, and so he may be able to better address the circumstances here. I know we do have in our code that you need to be at least 300 feet away from any schools or churches, so I'm
Right.
not sure
Right.
if,
Which they checked, and we do comply with
yeah, I
that.
was going to say, I believe he does comply with that.
So this will be something that this body cannot take up tonight. We're certainly willing to meet with him. I think he came by and asked to speak with me, but I was in a meeting and couldn't this evening. But we'll be happy to meet with him and see what we can work out. But again, it's not something this body can
Correct.
address tonight.
So, sir, there's nothing, we don't pass anything immediately here. It has to go to, obviously, planning and zoning. You know, they make their recommendations, they'll come forward to us. So obviously, I understand your concern and how you want to speed things up. I'm pretty sure that the city will be more than happy to try to accommodate you the fastest way possible, doing everything the right way. I understand, trust me, I know your location. My family was eager to go there as well. Congratulations on recently opening up.
Thank you, thank you.
So it's a welcome addition, okay?
Thank
So,
you, guys.
Thank you, sir. You still need a minute? All right, you want to take can I get a motion for 10 minutes, good enough? All right, a 10-minute break while they fix technology?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Motion carries.
You forgot to say all in favor?
Oh.
All in favor?
Yeah, all right, sure, thank you. Hey, Ken, highly irregular.
I'm gonna skip by you. Oh, you're getting up too.
What's that? Highly irregular to have a meeting like this too. But
How are you?
Good, you. Let's forget over here again.
I couldn't remember.
Hi there. Joanna O'Hara, nice to meet you.
That's what I thought too, when I was like, we'll figure it out. You know,
Good job. Look at you.
I know, I'm learning.
We're still on air, so we can't say anything.
Did you find the agenda? Did you find the agenda?
Did I find the
Did
agenda?
you find the agenda on it?
Oh,
Yeah, we did.
it was circling, but if you clicked on something, it worked. Remember, swipe up and hit the square. Oh. Every time.
Every time. There we go.
Let me do this guy.
do we have a spot? Do you want to? We don't have a spot.
This tablet online.
We'll
Yeah.
have to-
I'm old school, I'd rather have it in paper in front of me.
Me too.
Yeah, I too, but is this presentation going to be on?
Oh, I had an agenda printed up for me. I was gonna bring it, I thought, no, they have it out.
You'll
So
see
hand
too.
it, oh, you know what, because we haven't had four for a while.
Mine's still coming.
He's never had problems.
My son's got a birthday, huh? Son's got a birthday.
I do too, on November 9th is my regular birthday, and then 10th is the 250th.
Oh, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about your regular birthday, 250.
You know Marines will shut that up and down.
Everywhere.
Can't or just do that.
I hope that the mini golf guy gets his through, because yeah, I know, right? Did we not? Oh, so it's all of his stuff. I thought it was just for item 3. Oh, I did that too, yeah. I was like, I have time. It's like, okay.
They look nice. I'm like,
Yeah, the different colors.
yeah, that's so cute.
I put two on top, yeah, it was like a clear glitter, and then I put it on top with this other color that makes it different. I was like, so
We're on the corner.
I've been needing it. I try to go more often, but I don't have time.
I go religiously.
I used to, but now, ever since I moved here, I have no life.
You good?
I'm waiting for him to pull it up, but yeah, I sent it to him. So hopefully we're a minute out.
Yeah, and I haven't. I know. So if I can't go, I try to at least do mine at home. I take the this time I found, and then I found that my toes were so overdue.
Last year I bought $250.
Oh, no, she just.
Yeah, it's got ridiculously expensive.
Remove all hair. It's weird. It's a weird feeling.
Friends told me they needed.
I can read it. Maybe one piece. Oh. I have a German version. Trump has German. Hey, we got it.
We're good?
Looks like it.
I don't know if the clicker works with the PDF.
This is item. How did my notes get messed up? 2, this is original, this is right here. 2. Yay.
It's gonna work.
We're good?
Looks like we are.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I'd like to call the meeting back to order at 6:55 PM. All right, sir, item number 2, Sardo site plan, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioners, for the record, Eric Roche with Inspire Placemaking, here in my capacity as a contract planner to the city. Apologies again for the technical difficulties with the presentation. This is item number 2, which is the Sardo Bus and Coach Upholstery Site Plan. I'll speak about the location of the project, give you an overview of the request, and then I'll run through the last outstanding comments that we're working through with the applicant. This one's located east of US 27, south of Citrus Grove Road. You can see City Hall, the bottom of the aerial on the screen, so right around the corner from where we are tonight. It's about 4.83 acres in size, and it's currently undeveloped. We're here for a site plan approval. The applicant's gone through the development agreement process for the specific use and the square footage on the site. They've already completed that process, so this request is consistent with the existing development agreement. It's just over 26,000 square feet of warehouse uses, just over 8,000 square feet of office, and just under 13,000 square feet of dead storage on the property. You can see there's access in 2 places from 27, and then you've got the pond in the rear of the site buffering from the adjacent uses. These are the architectural elevations for the property. You can see they've designed the front facade and dressed it up adjacent to US 27, viewing west. That's the center elevation, and there are some bays for the site-specific use that they're proposing. There was a comment letter that was included in your staff backup. So there was a request for a traffic study exemption. Our subconsultants reviewed that and approved it as consistent with the criteria for an exemption. We did request a certification for Water Star from the Water Management District. That's part of code requirements. That can be done a little bit later in the process. They have requested to defer the clearing and tree removal permit until such time they're ready to break ground. So that's not in your packet this evening. And then the development agreement requires 2 easements. One's a cross-access easement to the south for the storage facility. It's immediately adjacent, and a 20-foot utility easement along US 27. And they're working through the process to record those easements. I think they're going to do some sort of combination easement for both across the frontage. There were some informational comments from Fryer, nothing that requires any action on the applicant's part, and we were still awaiting response from engineering in Lake County. So with that, subject to those revisions, staff would recommend approval. Here for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, fellow commissioners. Alternate here, Nicole Marie. I do have some questions, and I would like to know if now is a good time to address some environmental concerns on this matter. So the first thing after looking upon it, the biggest thing overall, I would like to say that I had a few notes and questions, mainly just around the environmental details. So the plan is designed per the SJR, WMD, and the city standards, but there's no permit number or approval letter that is listed. So my recommendation here is verification of both the SJR, WMD, and the FDEP compliance should occur before the construction. So can we just, for staff purposes, can we confirm that the SJR, WMD, and the FDEP stormwater permits will be verified before construction? So I think that's something that's really important to know from an environmental standpoint. The second one here with the dry retention maintenance that he had mentioned. So the pond treats the first ½ inch of the runoff with plus 1.5 inches over the impervious areas. So this is the retention pond that he was speaking of. So these systems perform well only with consistent upkeep. Without it, they risk sediment buildup and mosquito breeding. So my recommendation for this one is to add a condition, right, requiring the applicant to submit a post-construction stormwater management and maintenance plan. This would outline inspection intervals, sediment removal procedures, and vegetation control in accordance with the SJR WMD standards. So this plan remains the applicant's responsibility. It would ensure proper long-term operation without burdening the city. I think that this is very important to note here because we want to make sure that the city isn't taking any liability for this. And so if we now at this stage of planning and zoning can implement these recommendations and making sure that it's part of their due diligence. So the ask here would be, could we add a condition requiring the applicant to submit a stormwater maintenance plan per the SJR WMD standards to prevent sediment or mosquito issues? So the next one would be landscaping and buffering. So the plan appears thoughtfully designed with buffers along the frontage to promote sustainability and reduce irrigation needs, because that's really important with the water and all of the usage that we're dealing with now. Plants should meet the native and drought-tolerant requirements of the 110-3 LDC. So the recommendation here is the required native drought-tolerant plantings in all buffer zones in accordance with that statute. So the plan, it looks thoughtfully designed, but if we can ensure this landscape buffer using native and drought-tolerant species, this is already in compliant with our code, and if we can just specify that in this ask, it will help assure that we're not taking on any extra costs for water or maintenance and things like that. Am I okay to keep going? I got two more. So for off-site runoff, drainage flows, so the north and east towards US 27, nearby residential properties. So while the direction of the flow remains unchanged, according to that packet I noticed in there, for post-development, the engineering report doesn't confirm that discharge rates will stay equal in pre-development, to pre-development. So my recommendation here is to add a condition requiring written confirmation either through the SJR WMD certification or through the drainage impact statement. So the post-development discharge volumes do not exceed pre-development conditions. This will basically assure that they're getting it in writing that they are going to do whatever it is on their responsibility to make sure that this drainage doesn't affect anything. So we want it to be the same for the people. So this is going to be the same at the northern and eastern boundaries, ensuring no adverse impact to any of the adjacent homes, because this could potentially affect the adjacent homes. So just to be clear in my ask here, could staff request confirmation either from SJRWMD or through a drainage impact statement that both development discharge volumes will not exceed pre-development levels along the north and east property lines? That is my clear ask for that one. As far as the soil and flood zone, it is a Chandler sand type A, so this is all good. It's ideal for, it's low risk for us, so that's good to consider. I do have a traffic note here. So the traffic memo in the report in the packet that we received shows that for 134 days that everything was kind of 40 p.m. peak trips, everything was kind of clear here. However, I would like to confirm the FDOT cross-access documentation as part of final approval. So my clear question, my clear ask here for the record is, has the applicant coordinated with FDOT regarding any future cross-access or turn lane improvements along the US 27? And last but certainly not least, we have the post-construction monitoring. So to protect residents and the quality of life, it's good practice to inspect lighting and noise buffering after the occupancy. It is stated that they are choosing to do the dark sky lighting. So just to make sure that we're in compliant with what they say that they're going to do, the recommendation here is to add post-construction inspection. So this is something that the city could do. They can add a post-construction inspection condition to confirm compliance with lighting and noise standards near residential areas. So my clear ask for the record, could we request a post-construction inspection to confirm lighting and noise remain compatible with nearby homes? This is, again, just to take any liability off the city. If we can ask them to do this now and implement it during this stage, there's no kickback from the residents that say it's not dark sky or these things like that, because we are putting these things in place. And as you guys know, as members of the commission, one of the things that we hear almost constantly is about noise complaints and lighting concerns. So if we can implement these, it's my recommendation that if we can implement these into this now at this stage, that it'll alleviate us from any kickback in the future. And these are the main concerns. So do you have any questions for me?
Making notes quickly as you talk.
Yes, I do have them written. I can share them with you guys, and I can repeat any if you guys have. But just for verification, I'll go through them. There's 6 points. So number 1 was the written verification of the SJRWMD, which is the stormwater and FDEP water quality permits before building permits. Okay. The second recommendation was stormwater maintenance plan. This was inspection, sediment removal, vegetation control, for the SJRWMD compliant and applicant maintained. That's the key word here. We want this to be applicant maintained. The third one is drainage impact verification. So confirming post-development discharge not to be greater than pre-development at the north and east boundaries. Okay. And then number 4, landscape condition. We want this to be native drought tolerant species and compliant with the 1110-3 LDC. Then number 5 was the FDOT cross access, so documentation for corridor connectivity. And the 6th one was post-construction inspection for lighting and noise buffering. We want that to be worked into, like if we can come up with the inspection now, we can work it into the approval process. So I think that if we can add these into this, I feel like this would be a really easy overall, like something that we can approve with these recommendations to council.
And I believe the landscaping is a requirement. I was just trying to pull it up. For some reason, my screen just went black, but because that's something I always look for too, and I do remember reading that.
Yeah.
So I believe they did.
So
do all
not
natives unless I missed
specifically in this, if you look on the packet, it
That's what I'm
didn't
looking back for.
specifically talk about, and so that's why we want to make sure that we're naming this as one of our recommendations to council, right? Because
That's what I'm trying to look for, but-
yeah, it says like native species, but we want to make sure, so the recommendation here is that it's native and drought tolerant, because this would help decrease the water usage.
You're
for
right,
the city.
yeah, because if we use the right mulch and stuff like that as well. Because I know, was reading the plant list, and I saw that these are, but the mulch is also very important as well.
Right, so these are, and this is not about the mulch, this is the actual plant. So like, we're talking about like, they have like the cattail and things like that are still
yeah.
aesthetically pleasing, still offer a buffer zone, but they're drought intolerant, so they don't require water.
Agreed.
Yeah, now, a lot of them I was reading the notes, that's why I said the plants they're using are the natives that are drought usually. I know you probably have a little more background on that too, but
I'd like to call the applicant up if he's here, or they're here.
what happened to my,
Are they here? Is the applicant here? Friday. That way, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but if that way, you know, you could talk in regard to her questions or concerns, and then we'll probably have questions for you too.
thing just went,
Thank you.
I got it back. I have some questions for staff.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sandy Follis, and I work for Sardo Best and Coach Upholstery, and I've been with them for 36 years. We have owned this land now for a year, over a year, and we're ready to develop. Everything that she said, I don't think that isn't things that we can't do. Some of it I didn't understand. I've been doing this for a little bit now, but we're here to do whatever the city needs us to do. We want to make everything right. We don't want to not get approved tonight because there's a few things that are there that we need to go and get done that we'll do. So just let me know what I need to do.
Fair enough. Everything she said is not going to stop you. We're basically saying we would like these things as recommendation to go with our approval, and then pretty much you're saying that you don't think it's going to be an issue of concern. If you're not sure exactly what she mentioned, she's going to be right next to you here in a second. She could probably explain it to you. So you don't commit yourself to something that, you know, it might be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So just for the record, sorry. Just for the record, the recommendations that I had were not necessarily for the applicant itself. It was more so for the city to take these into consideration into making sure that we have these contingencies in place before moving forward. The one that I think that she would need to be mindful of is if we look at the number 2, the stormwater maintenance plan, this one would be just compliant. This would be something that they would, because they would have to maintain it. So that this would be saying that they would be responsible for maintaining, like making sure that the vegetation on their easement doesn't go. And the main reason why we would want this as a city is because, again, that easement has the potential for being a mosquito breeding, and you know, you don't want mosquitoes, we don't want mosquitoes. So this isn't necessarily anything to do with them. Like I said, I do feel like this is very solid. I really think this is a great plan. I think that, you know, we, as a chair, if you guys agree with this, I think this is solid. I just think making these recommendations to the city and implementing this moving forward would just help make it easier for just the applicant and the city relationship moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Okay, so just one more thing. We do own property in Minneola, 503 West Main Street, and we pride ourselves on how our property looks, and we'll continue to do that with our business there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sir, did you have anything?
I was only coming up to mention, I'm with Knight Engineering, the firm that was designing the site. Regarding his, or the number 1, the written verification of the stormwater and DEP water quality permits, that's obviously submitting those permits to you are conditions of approval, conditions of construction, so they're going to be on file. That's not a question. And then the drainage impact verification, that's in the stormwater report that the St. John's Water Management District will review in order to gain that same permit. The questions regarding the pre and post runoff are addressed directly in that stormwater report. They're always documented. I just wanted to inform them, inform everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just one more thing, it's really important, once we get through this process, and we do have another meeting with the city on I think it's the 2nd of December, that we want to be able to pull permits. We don't want to do anything that we're not supposed to do, but pulling permits is going to help things move along for us in the company as far as our financial banking, things that we have to do.
Thank you. I'd like to open up to the commissioners, and starting on my left, all the way with Ken, put you on the spot. Do you have any questions, concerns?
I do not have any questions at this time.
Gotcha. Very well handled.
Could you, I'm next.
Yes.
Could you explain to me the reason for a traffic study exemption?
We were given the exemption. I'm not sure why. I know that we did put forth what we would do if you wanted us to do a traffic study. The traffic that would be going there would be our employees, and sometimes we'll have buses or trucks coming in, but that's basically it.
I know the information provided on the bottom of your request for an exemption doesn't seem right. So I'm going to suggest that we do a traffic study. Okay?
We're good.
All right.
So we put the first part in.
Pardon me?
So we put the first part of it in, that this is how they're proposing to do the traffic study. So at this point, I need you guys to tell me to go ahead and do it. Then they said they would move on and do the rest as long as you approved how they were going to do it.
Those numbers that were recorded at the bottom of the traffic study, where did you get your reference from? How old are they? When was that information provided?
So we went to, was it called the, might need help.
So in the packet, it does say those numbers were done this year in 2025, so they were valid, and that's why this concern that I brought up here for them was that just to confirm the FDOT cross-access documentation is part of it, because for what they were doing and what they were requesting, they did submit all the adequate documentation, unless there was any other major concern, but it doesn't, according to the packet, there really wasn't anything of concern there. They did all those things. So I think if we just focus on making sure that they coordinate with FDOT regarding any future cross-access, this is future, but they did do, and it is up to date in there, compliant. And Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong here. But I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it is in there. And on the packet, I believe it's page, I want to say page 18, but it was right before that, because it was right around the environmental stuff. So 18, 19, 20 in there. It does say that they did do it, so.
All right.
But it was accurate of this year.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where I read it.
Thank you.
too, but-
You got,
Yeah,
you good?
yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so I have a list of questions, but I don't know for you or staff, but a lot of them Nicole already addressed, so I don't need to address them again. Some of my questions, well, that was answered. Okay. The fire flow is listed at 1850 GPM. Does this meet the city, as I said, it may not be, it's not really for you, the city and ISO's requirements for this use? Yes, okay, Jennifer, answer that. Nicole, answer that. And with the additional hydrant request from the fire marshal appear on the civil drawings, on the final civil drawings? No answers?
If you could repeat the question, you said.
Oh, will the additional hydrant requested by the fire marshal appear on the final civil drawings?
Good catch, by the way.
There were 2 fire hydrants that are located on the site plan. Each one have been located per the fire, I guess, the fire marshal's request that they be within 250 feet of any portion of the building as the hose is laid, and they have been relocated to provide that distance. So I don't believe an additional fire hydrant has been added, but there are 2 that you will see in the plans that provide the coverage that he requested.
2 that were requested by the fire marshal are in
There
there.
are 2 fire hydrants shown on the plans, yes, ma'am, that meet the requirement that was requested by meet the request of the marshal to provide the hose length distance that he posted, that he put down, which I think he said was 250 feet.
And then one last, going back to the traffic thing, because given that if they do use the traffic study exemption, this will be more for staff. Will staff monitor the driveway operations post-occupancy to ensure assumptions hold? So that would be more on a staff thing, because if you do not do a traffic study, we do use the exemption, will we monitor that?
And just a clarification on the traffic study exemption. If it doesn't meet the required threshold for a traffic study, they are able to request that exemption. And our subconsultant reviewed that and said that it was within the threshold to grant the exemption.
Okay.
In terms of the driveway permitting itself, they're gonna have to permit through FDOT. And then any operational improvements that are required to facilitate those driveway connections are gonna be required by FDOT at that time. So they're gonna still have to go through that permitting process, separate and aside from what we're doing.
I think that listed, because like I said, Nicole addressed a lot of my questions, so that was all mine.
No, I don't have any questions at this time, thank you.
Ken, bring it back to you. You're good?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, who's gonna make a motion?
We're doing 2, right?
Nope, this is on item 2 right now. Our options are approve plan as presented, approve plan with conditions, postpone approval of the plan, deny approval of plan.
Well, I don't think,
Staff recommends approval on the condition of staff comments as addressed. Yes.
So again, would be if we're taking all the things into consideration to approve with the conditions that we stated, right?
Yes.
And just to make us all orient on the same page here. So based on page 18 alone, which was the survey that they did in the engineering packet, everything appears to be consistent with our land use standards. So like on an environmental standpoint, and as far as your questions, like everything is conducive. So they do have a strong fit. It is a strong fit for the US 27 corridor. So the focus is just verifying the stormwater permits, adding clear maintenance plan for the retention pond, confirming off-site damage won't increase flow towards nearby homes, and then ensuring the landscaping and lighting meet our environmental standards. So it's just approval upon conditions is my recommendation to the council.
So
Excuse
basically,
me.
we're making, unless you guys had additional questions or concerns.
I have no questions.
A motion on item 3 ordinance, no, sorry, item 4 ordinance. I was like, two. Oh, that's right, we're skipping around here, I'm confused.
Item number 2.
We're on item 2, sorry. Motion on item 2, Sardio site plan, consider approval for a site, no, I don't have to read all that, do I? Or do I? Consider approval for site plan for approximately 4.3 acres generally located east of US Highway 27, north of Southern Breeze Drive, to motion to, with staff recommendations and the recommendations that Nicole brought forward.
So to approve the plan with the conditions
Yes, to approve
that the
the
city
plan.
takes into consideration the items that Nicole brought forward, correct?
Correct.
All right.
There's a
So
lot.
that's your motion.
That's my motion.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
good
you.
luck.
All right, we are on item
Number
number
4 now.
4 now.
Jeez,
Let me get to that page.
I know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again. For the record, Eric Rosh with Inspire Placemaking, here as a contract planner to the city. This is items 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to present them together. They are all related, as you'll note from your agenda package. These are for the Shepherd's Landing project. There's an annexation, a future land use map and text amendment, a PUD rezoning, and a development agreement, all on the agenda this evening. I'll speak to the location of the project, talk about the current, future land use, and current zoning on the site today, and then I'll run through each of the requests. So the first request is item 4, that's the comprehensive plan amendment. The second one is item 5, that's going to be the annexation and rezoning, and then I'll wrap up with the development agreement. And I'll talk to the outstanding issues to conclude the presentation. So the project is located south of the Turnpike. It's north of Citrus Grove Road and north of the Founders Ridge project, which you may recall seeing a few months back. It's bisected by Sullivan Road and Scrub J Lane. running through the middle of the project. And it's about 261 acres, give or take. A portion of the property is currently within unincorporated Lake County, and a portion is within the city. The current future land use of the site, you've got 194 of those acres. You can see them outlined kind of in the green, is designated Lake County Rural. And then you've got a city general commercial section, which is further to the east, which is included with the within the application. And finally, there's a small triangular piece immediately adjacent to the turnpike of labeled at MUD. That's a project that was originally included in Minneola Ridge, but it was not included in the resubmitted and reapproved Minneola Ridge. So that's something that's going to be included in this project. So it would be going from mixed-use development to the new designations. The current zoning, you've got a PUD within the county on a number of parcels, the ones that are in the county. You've got a PUD within the city, which is the Minneola Ridge. And then you've got B1 zoning on the commercial property on the east side of the site. So in terms of the requests, the applicant's looking to bring the 194 acres in from Lake County into the city through annexation, and then comprehensive plan amendments both to the future land use map to give it the new designation and to the text to define the development program. There's a corresponding PUD rezoning and development agreement that outline all the standards for the proposed development within the project. Overall development program, you're looking at 652 single-family detached units, 443 single-family attached units, just over 47,000 square feet of commercial, and you can see that on the map. That would be located at the intersection of Scrub J and Sullivan. 10 acres for a public utility tract. You can see that's the blue parcel that's located kind of towards the northwest of the property. And then just over 25 acres of public green space, which you can see adjacent to the turnpike. The way they've designed the property, you've got single-family uses in kind of that lighter yellow, and then you've got the more intense kind of townhome uses in the orange, and they're surrounded by the commercial. So it kind of all radiates out from the Scrub J corridor. They have submitted a future land use, comprehensive plan text amendment. So if you recall Minneola Ridge and some of the other site-specific future land uses, the city's comp plan provides for these mixed-use residential developments, and as part of that, we've been requiring text amendments to really lock down the development program. As you can see here, proposal for the number of units is directly within the policy of the comp plan. So if it's approved this way, you couldn't come back and request additional units without going through a comp plan amendment process. So that's been kind of the city practice for a while now. So that policy's been reviewed by staff. And if it's the pleasure of commission, then this would be appropriate for insertion into the comprehensive plan. And then the map amendment going along with that, as I mentioned, you've got various different future land use classifications that are on the site today. They're requesting to amend all of those to the new mixed-use residential development Shepherd's Landing. So if approved, you would see this new designation on the map, and you would say, well, what does that entail? That's when you would go to that comp plan policy that I just showed, and that's going to have all of the maximum number of units and things of that nature that are applied specifically to the site. The annexation is number 5. As I mentioned, 4 of the parcels that are under consideration are not currently within the city, and I've highlighted them here in red, so those are all proposed to be annexed into the city. It's 194 acres, give or take. In terms of the rezoning, there is a proposed increase in the residential development program and a decrease in the commercial program. The gross density is 4.2 dwelling units per acre. They are proposing the cluster densities up to 10 dwelling units per acre for the townhomes. They're proposing a 40-foot minimum single-family lot width and a 14-foot minimum townhome lot width. And we've got just a breakdown of what would be allowed under the existing future land use within the city below. Of course, no residential would be allowed in those areas today because it's all in the county for the most part. And if you multiplied out the floor area ratio allowed by the commercial, it's a huge number. They're proposing to reduce that significantly and just do the 47,000 square feet. Item 6 is the development agreement. This is where you're going to get all the details on the development standards. So you're going to have those standards attached as an exhibit specifically related to the site. And that's been included as item number 6 in your packet. So there's a number of things that we've been going back and forth with the applicant on. In terms of the annexation, we really had no outstanding comments on that. Feel it meets the requirements of statutes and the city's policies, so did not have any objections to the annexation. In terms of the PUD rezoning and comp plan amendments, there is a letter in your backup dated October 27th from our firm. And we list a number of things here that we've requested either clarifications or corrections on. I'm not going to read them individually just for your sake, but I'll highlight a couple of them that I think, are pretty important to us. So I think, the idea of buffering the public tracts in the rural and single-family housing. We did note that the city's wastewater treatment plant is immediately adjacent to this project across Scrub J. There were some concerns with, noises and smells and things like that from the wastewater treatment plant, and how do we address those things? I have another slide on that in a moment. They are proposing to allow front-loaded townhomes, which is inconsistent with the city's code that requires rear loading of those units. There's a revision to the city's open space definition. They're revising development standards for residential and commercial uses. For example, the 40-foot single-family and the 14-foot townhome lot widths are below the city's conventional standards. So I believe those have been granted through PUDs in the past, but they haven't been granted conventionally. And they are proposing a PUD, so this is the right mechanism for doing that if the city wants to agree to it. They are proposing a list of by right special exceptions. So typically when you do a special exception, you get a little bit more detail, you see the site layout, and you get to really address compatibility concerns through that process. If this was approved, they'd be able to do those special exception uses by right without the additional step. And we are still awaiting response from a few departments and divisions. This is the concern with the wastewater treatment plant. As you can see on the screen, they're proposing residential immediately across Scrub J to the west. That plant's currently under design for an expansion. Staff just had some concerns with noise and odors associated with the use. We suggested the possibility of a 300 to 500 foot, non-residential tract or some sort of buffer on the west side of Scrub J to buffer those homes that are ultimately going to be there. The applicants responded and said they would prefer to address it through their disclosures to their residents and their CC&Rs and their declarations, just to provide that notice that that plant's there and it may be expanded and it may cause noise and odor. And then finally, the development agreement, we had 14 outstanding comments. That should have been in your packet as well. We issued those comments on the 27th of October. And many of these things I've already covered, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on them. The big ones that I do want to hit, we really want to clarify the limits of construction for Scrub J Lane and Sullivan Road, consistent with the applicant's requirement to construct those facilities. We want to know where the limits are and the level of improvements associated with those road improvements. And again, some of these other things we've already talked about. We've requested an exhibit. They are requesting some relief on grading and retaining wall heights. We want to know specifically where that's needed on the site. We don't want to give a blanket to the whole project to do that. But if there are certain areas, historically that's how we've treated it. We've required a map to be included, which shows those specific locations. They've also got some language saying if the city doesn't want the new utility tract, the public facility tract, that it automatically reverts to a residential use, and it will have 40 units associated with it. I think that those 40 units really need to be included in the overall development program if they're to be contemplated, and that includes, they need to be referenced in the comp plan amendment, they need to be referenced in everything we send to the state for their oversight. So In my conversations with utilities, they're going to accept it, so I don't know if it's a huge issue, but if it's just something that we called out in our review. They are proposing to eliminate parking requirements for neighborhood parks. That's been kind of a hot-button issue for the city as of late. We've been requiring those facilities to have at least some sort of parking. A lot of times there's a mail kiosk there. We want to make sure that folks are able to get in there and park. So that's something a little different here. I mentioned the deviations from conventional development standards, mentioned the buffering on the project, and then just waiting final approval from Public Works Engineering in Lake County. I know that's a lot. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. I know the applicants here with their full team who can hopefully provide some clarification on their ask and a little bit more information on their project, but I'm available for questions as well. So thank you.
Thank you. I do have a question for the attorney, because as mentioned earlier, that I was considering potentially making a motion to table item 5 and 6 for the full purposes. I think it's too much right now in such a quick procession of us to review and approve. It's over 600 pages. My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is the Florida statute, when you annex something, it has to give enough time for the county and state to review everything, public comments, everything in regard to annexation, a due process of time for everything to be reviewed. I believe the statute's Florida Statute 163 3184. You could correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's correct. However, I would just note that this body is not actually reviewing or doing a recommendation about the annexation. It's just that the ordinance talks about both the annexation and the rezoning, so you are just seeing that portion, but this body does not make any sort of recommendation on the
Agreed.
annexation.
Agreed. I just think it's a lot for us to review in one thing, but it's just only my thinking right now on that. I'd like to bring in
Mr.
the
Chair.
applicant. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Sorry to interrupt. The applicant's just requesting that at the minimum, they be allowed to show their presentation.
No,
Oh.
that's what I was about to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So before we do that, I do have a question here, and this is more so, we had to take a recess, we had item 2, we were having issues with that. Chair, I would like to address you specifically if, instead of next time for further notice, that instead of taking the recess, that we could have moved items forward to discussion. This way we weren't creating any room for sidebar comments or things like that. Just for the record, we did notice some people move out, and there were rooms for conversations on this. And because it is all 3 things, I just want to bring to our awareness that the city of Minneola has not signed the JPA with the county, which would directly talk about annexation and how we move forward with these things. So even though that, by the city manager and the city attorney is saying that this is something that we don't have to talk about, I do think we need to consider, the fact that we are looking at these things, all 3 as a whole, and doing the presentation of all three things as a whole. If we do not understand it, when we're making recommendations, we're creating space for there to be holes for the council. And it is our job and obligation to make sure that we are understanding things so that when we're giving recommendations, we're taking into consideration the bigger picture. If we do not table items 5 and 6 tonight, then we are potentially putting all of this on the councils to look at it as a whole. If we do table it, the council is looking at it one piece at a time, which is creating space for them to make sure that when they go through their approval process, that there's no kickback from the county or anything else. So I do want to take that into consideration before we hear from them and we add the rest of our comments and considerations. But next time, just moving forward, instead of taking a recess, maybe we could have moved forward so that this way there's just no room for sidebars or anything like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Duly noted. Yeah. Applicant?
Good evening.
Good evening.
We did have a presentation.
Thank you all. Good evening. Erica Hughes with RVI Planning and Landscape Architecture with the applicant team, 111 North Magnolia Avenue, Orlando 32801. Also with me is Matt Young with Richland Communities and our development team. Matt will be joining me to do some presentation and answer any questions after we go through this brief slide deck that Eric has already touched base on many of the information that has been provided today. So I'll go over that pretty briefly since we've already heard it. Like Eric mentioned, the proposed Shepherd's Landing PUD is located along the south side of the Florida Turnpike, approximately 1.25 miles east of US 27. The total project area is around 260 acres, and the site is currently vacant. There are 3 future land use designations, with the majority being within the Lake County Rural designation. The other 2 are City General Commercial and the City Mixed Use Residential HARB District. Same with zoning. There's 3 zoning districts on the property: an old remnant Lake County PUD designation, the city PUD, which was a carryover from the mixed use to HARB district, and B1 general commercial for the commercial designated parcel. And our request is changing, well, we do have 3 application requests total. It's annexing approximately 194 acres into the city. The comp plan amendment request changing all designations to 1 category of mixed-use residential Shepherd's Landing, and a corresponding rezoning amendment to PUD with an associated development agreement. The overall proposed development program includes a mix of uses that include 1,095 single-family residential homes and approximately 47,000 square feet of commercial uses, and the proposed density of 4.2 dwelling units per acre and an FAR of 0.2 is within the range allowed per the city's comp plan and land development code. The proposed conceptual master plan design clusters residential and commercial uses in a defined development footprint. The adjacency to existing transportation corridors allows for efficient access and future connectivity. Along with the Scrub J connection, 2 additional access points are provided in the south, ensuring connectivity to the approved Founders Ridge development. Commercial uses are planned for the major intersection of Scrub J and Sullivan, with single-family detached surrounding the proposed commercial use and transitioning out to the lower single-family detached residential in the north and along the east and west boundaries. The PUD rezoning is being requested to allow for development flexibility within the project area. As Eric has mentioned, our proposed development standards do differ slightly from the land development code minimum requirements, but are more in line with what current market rate conditions for single-family and commercial development are currently. Proposed standards are also compatible with the surrounding development approvals in the area, Founders Ridge and Minneola Ridge, and the buffering proposed follows the requirements of the LDC. Proposed roadways in the PUD will be privately owned and maintained. Local roads will include a 50-foot right-of-way, and Scrub J will be improved to a 70-foot right-of-way, which includes a 12-foot multi-use trail. I know there are additional questions and outstanding comments that Eric had listed, and we can go point by point, but at this time, we are requesting that you all provide support and recommend approval as presented for the comprehensive plan amendment and rezoning developers agreement. Like I mentioned, myself, Matt, and our development team is here to answer any questions, and we thank you for your time in letting us present tonight.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the public who wishes to speak regarding this matter? Anybody, residents in the area? Commissioners? Do you have any questions, concerns? Oh, sorry.
A lot of questions. My name is Joe Eddy. I live at 18,030 Flamingo Lane, which is just off Sullivan Road. And I have a solution to them for worrying about the smells and the noise and all that of the sewage treatment plant is just don't build there. So I believe that this project is going to take all this rural property that we've had and make it a city. It's not going to be rural anymore. And if you've been there for 24 years, as we have, my wife has horses, there's two of our neighbors that have horses. This has been a rural area for a long, long time. And that's how we'd like to see it stay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
I have a concern that I want to address, and Eric, I don't know if it's you or Mark, or, but shouldn't the city confirm water, sewer, and traffic LOS before adopting new land use? And if you answer that, but before, shouldn't the city also demonstrate adequate water, sewer, roadway capacity before adopting as well? I don't see that was, unless I'm missing something.
It's a really good point, and we did have some comments on the traffic impact analysis, which were sent back to the applicant for revisions and review. But you're correct, public facilities analysis is required by Florida statutes. When you send an amendment to the state for review, that's something they always want to see. They want to ensure that there's facilities available to support whatever you're proposing. So they did provide a public facilities analysis, and we're awaiting confirmation from engineering that capacity is available. And I'll defer to the applicant. I know that they've got a proposal, I believe, for a private wastewater system in the event that the capacity at the county's or the city's plant is not available at the time of construction. So they do believe they have a plan for that.
So without this, you're waiting for it, you're saying, so we don't know how long.
And it's a moving target, so I think it's always a challenge to understand where the capacity is at any given time. But that's something that'll certainly be presented to City Council.
I was about to ask a question.
Go ahead. I got questions. I'm
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
get
no
my
problem.
steps in today, apparently.
So, all right. Yeah, I think you did it more eloquently, more professionally than I did, but can you reiterate, probably a little slower because you speak real quick, for the people up here, what are your concerns regarding for item number 5 and 6 as it related to number 4 right now?
That's for me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, yes, sorry, I do speak fast.
Well, no worries.
Okay,
Trying to make notes up here as you talk.
No,
also.
it's okay. So I just want to, and this is to address the city manager's comment where he said that we're not really expected to do anything, but if you look at our agenda packet, right? Item 4, it is a comprehensive plan amendment, and it talks about what we're looking at the comprehensive plan as a whole. So we're basically voting on, like, as a whole, if this project gets approved, like, these are our recommendations, this is what we think, right? The second one is the item 5, which is the land annexation and rezoning, okay? Which, again, the city manager said that this doesn't require anything of us, but it does, because if whatever we do here, right, with recommendations or contingencies, if we look at this as a whole, 4, 5, and 6, as it's been presented, we're creating space for us, for the city, to have kickback from the county because we are not part of the JPA. And I want to remind each of you up here that we have not signed the JPA, which is the Joint Planning Agreement between the county and the cities, and it talks about how do we handle annexations and things moving forward. So because we haven't, which we're not required to, it is something that the city can choose to elect, right? It's okay that we don't. I personally recommend that we do, but that's just my 2 cents. But because we are not a part of that, we need to be very mindful that when we're taking on projects like this, we're not pushing them. This agenda is stacked. All 3 of them coming in together like this gives us room for a little bit of error and gives us a potential kickback from the county. So we want to make sure that before we're it's all coming on our plate. We don't need to put all of it on the city council's plate like this as well. Not to say that we can't approve these things, but doing it like this. I mean, everyone likes Thanksgiving dinner, but you eat your pie after your Thanksgiving dinner, right? There's a reason, because it's a lot. So this is a huge thing. This affects residents, affects our cities. We're talking about 3 different zoning things, and this amendment by itself is something that we need to consider as a whole. So my recommendation was that we talk about item 4 tonight, specifically item 4. We table items 5 and 6 to come back once we've moved through this, giving council time to look at the comprehensive plan, getting their things, so that this way there's a conversation, and we also have time for the applicant to submit to the city for the for the county for the annexation and things like that, so that there's no kickback or any, like, we want to make this as seamless as possible, right? For the applicant, for the city, for ourselves, and if we stack it all, there's room for error, and that's my biggest concern. With that, if I may, however, address some environmental concerns as far as the comprehension plan.
You may.
Okay. So here is the first thing. Looking at the comprehensive plan, this is a very significant amendment, like I mentioned. So we are looking at the comprehensive plan as a whole, 259 acres. This is a proposed shift from rural, which is low intensity, to mixed use designation, right? So this is a pretty substantial shift that we're looking at here. So I want to, this is the surrounding areas, Scrub J Lane, north and south Sullivan Road, east and west Grassy Lake, and west of 27. So that's the entire thing that we're looking at here. Okay, so the intent is to establish large-scale mixed-use community framework. This was what they gave to us in the plan here. I think the things that we need to take into consideration is that the current on-site conditions, this is just from the packet mapping. This is from looking at it, like seeing what they did. So it is vacant, undeveloped land, and the staff and property appraiser records confirm that there is no existing structures and no active land use. So the Lake County property appraiser, and this is, I can give you the keys, 109-1298, also 141-2822, 141-2778, and the adjacent parcels list all of these as vacant and rural land. Now, there's a reason I'm saying this, okay? So historically, what was this land used for? It was historically used for agriculture and pasture with low intensity grazing and secondary upland regrowth with no stormwater infrastructure or clearing permits on record. That's real rural. Now, the soil, again, environmental standpoint, so this is relevant here. It's dominated by Chandler sand, which is a type A soil. So this is, it's highly permeable, it's well drained, and it is actually the Florida scrub ecosystem and sandhill uplands, which is why I want to make sure I am saying this slowly and intentionally here. Okay. So the vegetation in the packet, it notes that there is sparse vegetation and open pasture with intermittent oak and pine clusters. So this suggests that there is early successional scrub regrowth, okay, and often recolonized by scrub jays when connected to the upland corridors. I hope you understand where I'm going with this. Okay, so references here with this is the wetlands and the surface water. So it references to isolated depressional wetlands and surface flow towards Grassy Lake. So there is no jurisdictional delineation submitted by the FDP or the St. John's Water District yet. So this is going to likely impair the wetlands and vital hydraulic balance, but not excessive to marsh areas. So basically, this means that there's going to be something that they're going to address in this area, and they already talked about that in the packet as well. So let me get to the point here. So from the packet and the soil data, it appears that this property is already largely vacant with the Chandler sand and low vegetation. So the same conditions are recognized as a potential scrub day habitat in the US FWS consultation maps. So because there has been no environmental survey provided, it is not in our packets, they have not done it yet. It may be best if the city requests a formal habitat inventory before adopting this land use amendment. This is very, very vital because this particular location with these standards just written without anybody going out there and looking at it, this is a scrub jay habitat. This is written clear as day what a scrub jay habitat is. This is considered, Lake County is considered the corridor for this, and I'll go a little bit deeper at that here in a minute. So the scrub jay, for those of you who don't know, and just to be on record here, is federally listed as a threatened species under the Endangered Species Act. It requires the xeric oak scrub, which again, they mentioned oak, they mentioned pine, they mentioned all the things they didn't specify, but that would be specified if they did this land survey, which is why we need to make sure that this is the top recommendation here. So the discussion is, given the site's ecological context, can staff confirm whether coordination with FWC and the US FWS has already been initiated and planned before the adoption of this amendment? It's very key that it is planned before the adoption of this amendment. The condition here, my recommendation on record, is that there is a condition transmittal on a habitat assessment coordinated with FWC and USFWS and required their feedback to be included in the state review packaged. We are considered the corridor, so this is very important that we're doing our due diligence here. I'm going to move on to open space and lightning policy. So the city currently has no land formally zoned as conservation. If we do something like this, an amendment where we're moving rural land and we're changing the density of it, and we in Lake County are considered the lightning capital, this is again environmental, and we have no land formally zoned as conservation, this development offers a chance to embed that value into this comprehensive plan. So this is my recommendation or the discussion here. Could we establish with a 25% open space minimum with the Shepherd's Landing mixed-use designation with a portion reserved as preserved native upland or scrub habitat? This will help us, if we go in and they do the environmental concern, keeping that preserved, because we don't have anything zoned as conservation, that 25% of what they're doing here is already located as that, and this can be the contingency in this, so that we don't have to create new land and create a conservation plan that we don't have, right? That we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, but we do have a space, and if we can take this into consideration, we're balancing both worlds. I do believe that conservation and development can coexist, and I think that that's what we need to be mindful of here, is that we're developing mindfully with these things into consideration. So for the record, the recommendation to incorporate a 25% open space requirement and dark sky lighting standards into the comp plan amendment to minimize edge effects and support wildlife corridors. Okay, so for the next one, to address the stormwater and wetland considerations. So the site contains permeable soils that feed into grassy lake. So no SJR, WMD, or FDEP permits are yet referenced. Again, this is the comp plan, so it's okay that it's not referenced here, but we just need to speak that on record. So the clear question is, will the stormwater design and water quality review by the SJR, WMD, and the FDEP be included in the transmittal package for agency review? So basically, the clear recommendation here, to condition this approval on receiving state and regional stormwater and wetland reviews before the final adoption. That would be the conditional approval for that one. Am I okay to move on? I know you guys are still writing up there. All right, so lightning and public safety factor. So Lake County lies in the core of Lightning Alley, one of the most lightning-dense regions in the U.S. Increasing density without resilience standards can elevate risk to infrastructure residents. So because there's already residents with horses and things like that, if we start moving things, we're going to create a target for those little horsies, and I don't think they would like that. So, can the city ensure the developer's design guidelines include grounded utilities, surge protection, and covered public areas to address lightning exposure? I also think it would be really good if any building, so for example, if it's going to be like a 2-story building or anything like that, maybe adding some sort of like recommendation that lightning rods or anything that can direct the lightning out of that path. So we want to redirect the lightning from there. I think that if we consider these things now, that we can move forward and ensure the safety and protection of both what the applicant is wanting to to develop as well as the existing residents, and it would just ensure safety. So the clear recommendation, are you ready? Integrate storm and lightning resilient infrastructure into the development agreement. Okay, now moving on to traffic and concurrency. So the application adds, again, remember, this is still all on item 4. This is why we're focusing here. Okay, traffic and concurrency. So the application adds over 1,000 residential units and commercial traffic along Sullivan Road and US 27, and no traffic study was included in the packet. I just want to emphasize that. So could we request a comprehensive traffic coherency on the FWT access analyst before final adoption to ensure road capacity and safety for Sullivan Road and US 27? So the clear recommendation, require a traffic impact analysis as part of state and county review prior to the final hearing. All right, and then overall here, so under the Florida Statute 163.3184, large-scale comprehensive plan amendments must be transmitted to state and regional agencies before for review before that they can be adopted. So no acknowledgement letters or transmittal records appear in the packet, confirming that this is not this review has not yet happened. So can staff confirm that tonight's action is to transmit item 4 for state and county review and not to adopt it at this stage? Just clarification on that. Is that what that is?
This is just the transmittal hearing, correct?
Okay, just making sure that we're clear on that, just so that the rest of my colleagues here are understanding that as well. So I want to acknowledge that this is just my recommendations again for item 4. If we can continue, or maybe it might be in the best interest to table items 5 and 6. And as we move through this, that is something that is completely up to you guys. I can give you my recommendations on items 5 and 6, but I do recommend that we look at these individually and not together. Just remember, we're being presented to them together. So both presentations we saw, they presented both 4, 5, and 6 all together. So I am just focusing on item 4 right now. Thanks. Do you guys have any questions for me?
No, but I believe the applicant wants to come up for a representative.
Good evening, everybody. Matt Young with Richland Communities, 555 Winderley Place. Certainly appreciate everybody's time tonight, and I'll sign in when I'm done just so we can keep things moving. And congratulations on the new appointment, Commissioner, as well as the Assistant Commissioner there stepping up and providing all the great commentary. For context and color, you know, we came before you, Minneola Ridge, presented in the same format, same agenda discussion. It's my understanding that most city councils and or commissioners appreciate the opportunity to see all the packet together because they do want to eat their Thanksgiving and have their pie at the same time. And what I mean by that is you have a clear understanding of what you're actually approving. It's one thing to go out in front and then approve a comprehensive plan that is going to assign density and intensity, thereby vesting the property, but not really knowing what's coming behind that, right? So it's always in our best interest to present all 3 categories cohesively, so that way we're an open book about what we're trying to do, and we're not just trying to secure that comprehensive plan and those vested rights, and then later switch things up. So again, this is consistent with all our other PUDs in the city, as well as the county on how we presented. Couple other things that were noted, speaking to staff's recommendations, we have worked with staff on quite a few of those. We recognize that transportation is always a hot topic. And we recognize that we're on the hook for any transportation improvements that are required. We're your primary relief road to Hancock. So just like Minneola Ridge, this is the same cross-section for Scrub J that's going to come all the way south through Founders Ridge, excuse me. We're on the hook for developing that. Any improvements required along Sullivan to facilitate this land use, we're on the hook for improving that. The city has concurrency standards in place that are part of your code that require us to facilitate or demonstrate rather that we meet those concurrency, whether it's utilities, traffic, schools, anything else before development can occur here. So we just want to go on record and acknowledge that we know we're on the hook for that, just like any other project we've done in your great city. A couple things regarding the wastewater treatment facility. We met with staff probably 2 years ago on this project now. Started reviewing opportunities to where we could better assist the city in their expansion program. We identified this 10-acre parcel. We took it upon ourselves with Besh Engineering, who I know the city uses quite frequently, as well as other municipal providers, to do a conceptual design for what the wastewater expansion plant would look like. We did that, provided it to staff, and as recent as this year, we also did borings in the location of the proposed facility to demonstrate that it would work and provide approximately 3.5 MGD wastewater treatment to the city's total 4.5 MGD required by your MUP. So the city's MUP already has identified in the future, some time out, that there will be another wastewater plant. With this addition in the city's expansion to their existing site, that wastewater plant would only need to theoretically be a 1 MGD, which could drastically reduce the cost of that future plant. As far as the noise operation and the smell go, again, there's no standards in the city's code that prohibit or require a specific buffer adjacent to those uses. All those buffers are reviewed on an individual basis, and we're happy to work with your body as well as city council to make accommodations for that. But at the end of the day, residents are coming into the area, whether it's Founders, Minneola Ridge, right across the turnpike, and hopefully one day this project as well, where those accommodations will need to be met in order to facilitate that in use. We're also gonna, like I said, work with the city attorney to disclose those and make sure those proper disclosures are in place for each transaction that occurs on the property. So nobody can ever come back and say, we didn't know what the adjacent land use was, we didn't know, you know, what type of facility was there and what operation was ongoing. At the end of the day, we're all adults. If they choose to purchase there and live there with the proper disclosures in place, that's on them. They're still investing a great deal of money into the city because they want to be a part of the future of Minneola. With regards to the environmental concerns, just like the applicant before me, it's standard practice that we have to provide water management district permits, DEP permits, and the like before we can begin construction activities. I am unaware, unless the city attorney advises me otherwise, that there's criteria for that to be in place prior to transmittal to the state. So at this point, I would ask that the recommendation, if we were to be receiving a recommendation for approval, is to simply go by the current land development code, which requires all of those permits be in place. In addition to that, on the environmental front, we also have to provide concurrence with FWC and U.S. Fish and Wildlife. I'm happy to report to you that as a part of that wastewater plant expansion discussion roughly 2 years ago, we took it upon ourselves to provide or conduct a scrub jay habitat survey, where we received U.S. Fish and Wildlife concurrence that there were no scrub jays in the area. And we have provided that to staff. So those areas, as well as the wastewater plant expansion, all of that has been in the works for some time now. So this isn't something that just popped up overnight. This isn't a concept that we're, just brought forward in the past 2 months. It's been a project that's really been in the works for quite some time now, and in some ways concurrent to Minneola Ridge, right? Because one thing staff brought up, but maybe danced around, was the fact that we're taking a commercial property and we're asking for residential zoning on it. Well, the reality to that is it's a trade-off, right? We took residential acreage out of Minneola Ridge, and we're providing 1.25 million square feet of commercial there. So there was a swap that took place there. The city still has a net gain effect of net non-residential in the region as a result of these projects that we're providing. And last but not least, you know, when we want to isolate and put the blinders on regarding one parcel being agricultural, I would remind everybody to look at what this area looked like prior to 2016 when the Turnpike interchange opened. At one point, all of Sugarloaf was agricultural. At one point, the majority of Lake County was agricultural. Unfortunately, due to the freezes in the 90s and the greening effect in the early 2000s, that industry has left us. So what we're doing today is we're finding new ways to facilitate the incoming generations and the migration into the state, while also providing healthy economic opportunities for our local municipalities to sustain for the long term. And with that, happy to answer any further questions. We would still ask, I think I have talked to the city attorney, we would like to maintain our schedule for the December 2nd City Council, first reading and transmittal hearing. But otherwise, I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have questions for him?
I do want to clarify one thing. He was talking about that they took it upon themselves to do a survey of that land with the scrub, and it did state that there was scrub jay habitats and scrubs within 0.5 to 1 mile radius in that document that he's referencing to. It is in the packet. I did look at it, and that's why I made the recommendations I did as per what he was talking about, because what the document that he did on their own is considered public record, so I was able to access it. And so I just want to, emphasize that. I also do have a clarifying question. He did reference to having a conversation with the city attorney. Was that conversation on record?
I'm not a public official.
Okay, I'm just asking, was it on, it was not, so it was, you guys had it on your own? Okay. I think that that's something that all of us, would like to know as well, because sometimes when they come in and they say, oh, well, we've already talked to the city attorney and we're trying to, you're representing the city, you're representing what we're doing. I think we all need to be on the same page here. So you having sidebar conversations, it just doesn't feel right to me anyway. Maybe that's me and I'm out speaking, but I just want to be mindful of that because, we're all on the same team over here, and they're coming in and submitting approval
Staff
and
and I have
recommendation.
many discussions with the applicants without the boards.
Yeah, I'm aware. Again, the more that we can keep it public record, the better it is for all of us. So I think that the biggest thing to be mindful of here is it does sound like the applicant wants us to continue forward, and we totally understand and want to respect that. But again, I think it's very important that we are mindful of taking things one bite at a time. We don't have to go at the pace of everyone else. So my recommendations stand as they are. I think we need to make sure that the residents understand that we're advocating for them as well. And I think council will approve and appreciate the fact that we are doing our due diligence here and we're not pushing things before we understand it all as a whole. So that is all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. For council question, from my understanding, they've met all, and Mark, you could jump in, or planning zoning. From my understanding, they've met all codes, requirements that the city has given before them for their application. That is correct?
That's my understanding, that's right.
All right. Am I correct in that also, P&Z, or office back there? Yes, they met all requirements, as in they've met everything. They're not, they're meeting within all city code ordinances and so forth. Because this conversation came up at a previous meeting in regards to, things that were discussed, so I just want to make sure.
I'm just trying to clarify your question. So in terms of,
Meaning they met all requirements being put before, and then they meet all city requirements or codes or statutes,
well,
correct?
we do have outstanding comments on all three applications, which were provided in the backup. So some of those things are, maybe we agree to disagree, but other items within those documents are going to require some corrections.
Thank you. Lordy. Does the commissioners have any questions or concerns, or anything they want to ask the applicant or staff?
Just clarification. I noticed in your proposal here that you're looking to reduce the frontage for homes as well as townhomes, therefore putting more feet in the ground there, as well as decreasing commercial use space, which means that there will be less goods and services provided to the residents that are already here. So I just wanted to clarify that that is your plan, is it correct?
Yeah, I'll handle that in two formats. First and foremost, the lot sizing standards are consistent with the surrounding PUDs in the area that have been readily adopted by the market. So that was our starting point there. On the second, as far as the commercial space goes, we didn't want to be unrealistic. So typically with commercial non-residential uses, it's a 1.0 FAR, floor area ratio, to the lot size, right? Those never get developed. In other words, you're not going to have 1 million square feet, on, or 500,000 square feet rather, on a 5-acre site, right? So what we did was we paired it back to what is a more realistic FAR. I think that's typically in the 0.4 to 0.5 range, or somewhere around a 0.4. And so that's what we wanted to present to not only this body, but as well as council.
Thank you. I
You had a
appreciate that.
realistic number of what to expect on that size property.
Thank you.
Mr. McCoy?
I don't have anything right now.
Denise?
That's why I was just reviewing some of my notes, because I know there's so many outstanding items, but as long as we address them, it's just reviewing everything. I don't think I have any other questions right now.
Joanna?
I don't have any at this time, thank you.
Anybody from the public, residents in the area, want to discuss, or review anything, mention anything? Nope. All right. All right. Commissioners, anybody wants to make a motion on these items? Keep in mind, are we, since it was briefed as item 4, 5, and 6, can the motion be for item 4, 5, and 6, or do we have to say each
We
one?
need individual motions.
Agreed. Okay, just making sure. All right, anybody want to make a motion?
There's a lot of,
I know.
I can't hear you, sorry. They can't hear you.
there are several items on here that she made mention to about a land survey, which is probably a good idea. I'm not sure that we need to add all of these into item 4 or spread them out. I have about 4 recommendations on the motion. Do I need to put them all in one? I mean, item 4, or just list them all for the combined 4, 5, and 6?
I would prefer if the recommendation is only for each item, and if you have a specific recommendation for example, the comprehensive plan amendment, then the recommendation should just apply to that portion, and then for the rezoning, and then the developer's agreement. So the first, item number 4, is just for the comprehensive plan amendment, right? And so right now, I don't know if we can maybe get that back up on the screen of what the proposal is.
And just for clarification, the recommendations that I had all were for item 4. I was only speaking on item 4. I was not speaking on item 5 and 6. So if you're referring to my recommendations, each of them were for, specifically for item 4.
Motion for item 4.
You're gonna make a motion for item 4? All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, with conditions, a land survey be provided, dark sky lighting recommended for the site. A comprehensive stormwater plan is in place. Let's see, the other one.
There was something in traffic.
That's it. Ordinance 2025-13, Shepherd Landing Comprehensive Plan Amendment with these items. Complete a land survey prior to commencement. Dark sky lighting added to the comp plan. Stormwater plan. I'm not sure that it would need to be updated or redone. And approve ordinance 2025-13 landing, Shepherd's Landing comp plan amendment. It's item 4.
So with those 3 recommendations, correct?
Right.
Stormwater, I'm sorry, did I miss that?
It was the land survey, dark sky, and the comprehensive stormwater.
Nothing on
In
traffic.
conjunction with the staff, recommendations.
Yeah, right.
Nothing on traffic.
And you did say traffic as well.
I didn't use traffic, but I can add that to traffic study as well.
And there wasn't any dark sky recommendations. I think you're,
I wrote that down. You mentioned dark
it's
sky.
lightning. I wanted to clarify, it's lightning recommendations. City attorney question, the recommendations, do they need to be named out or can they just be referenced to? So they need to be
No, they
named
need to
out.
be named out, and
Okay.
actually, you're not supposed to step up through when they're making motions.
I hear
so-
you, but I don't think he understood, so we just needed to clarify. Thank you.
Okay, dark sky is not supposed to be there. Extract stormwater plan, land survey, and traffic study.
In conjunction with the,
Staff recommendation,
got it.
approved.
Everybody clear on that?
Yeah.
On those items? All right. Can I get a second?
Second.
I have a first, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Nay? I didn't hear you.
Oh, I did the second.
Okay.
Aye.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry, you're right.
It's okay.
All right, motion carries.
Again, for the land annexation, we don't have, we can just approve the item 5. I don't see that there were any recommendations for the
For the rezoning,
yeah, and annexation and rezoning.
Blaine, or are we going to continue?
We're just trying to clarify if those items are being tabled or actively.
Is anybody up here want to make a motion to table?
Make a motion to table items 5 and item 6.
Do you have a second? We
Second.
haven't second. Who said second?
I did, sorry.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
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 So that's unanimous for items number 5 and number 6.
Okay, Matt.
If I may, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for hearing us tonight, and I would ask, if it pleases this commission, to maybe have a little bit more time to review those items with staff. If we could get some acknowledgement that we would be scheduled or continued tabled to a date certain for the December 1st hearing that is currently scheduled.
Yes, we should
That's
have.
not up to us. That's,
you can make that recommendation that you hear it on the December 1st if you would like us to bring it back at the, December 1st Planning and Zoning Board meeting.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Can I get a, well, I'll make a motion to make sure that we could review these and discuss this once more time in the December 1st, or basically our first meeting in December, or the only meeting in December we'll have. Do I have a second?
Second. Oh.
All right.
All in favor, yes?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. So you will hear the rezoning and the developers agreement on December 1st.
Thank you.
This is when what happens when you have too much in one plate, in one shot.
Too much going on there.
We're not done yet, are we?
No, we're not done yet.
I know. I feel
Going
like
back.
everyone's leaving.
Moving on to, where's the review? Final public comments, any final public comments? Final public comments, going once, going twice. Yes, ma'am, go ahead. Can you please mention your name and address, please?
I'm Lena Greasaber. I'm 12512 Sullivan Road. And my property backs to the 98 acres that I believe they want to build in. I just wanted to know if they have a study on Sullivan Road as far as what they're going to do with it, building all these houses. I know
It'll
they
be
have a
rediscussed
study
on December 1st.
Scott-J. Huh?
It's going to be
Be
discussed
discussed
on
on
December
December
1st.
Okay. Is that a meeting that we can attend to?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Just like this one.
6:30 right here on Monday, December 1st.
Sorry, I don't do well on public speaking.
You're fine.
And also, because I don't understand their mapping, or I don't do this every day. So the housing that they're trying to come up with, is that the one that backs up to my property? So I'm on Sullivan and Scrabjay, and I'm the 98 acres on the corner.
We can get somebody from staff to help you out
Okay.
and figure out where your property is in relation to the development.
Yeah, like-
And
yeah.
explain that to you. Thank you.
Any final public comments, anybody else? All right, I'd just like to mention that on these, luckily, not to say luckily, but obviously, staff previously, before this meeting, when I was looking at this, I was like, this is a lot for us in one meeting, especially the amount and looking at item number 4, 5, and 6, and then, you know, we had the other two. I understand that there's things that need to be done. Luckily, I mean, staff decided because of, was it item number 3, to pull that one. But still, we have plenty of concerns. We're trying to do our due diligence, make sure we do the right thing, and by no means are we experts on everything. But we do our best to try to review it, learn everything in here with due time. And kudos to staff to giving all this information about a week ahead. They're doing better at it. But we also work full-time, okay? So we're sitting here in the wee evenings trying to review stuff, look stuff up like that. And so I had all these concerns because it felt like it was a lot being thrown at us in one meeting. And that's why I had my concerns and wanted to potentially table item 5 and 6 because I had those concerns. So I appreciate everything that staff is doing in planning and zoning. It just felt a lot for us to absorb and review and make a decision on in one shot, so. But I appreciate everything that everybody's doing at the same time and understand. Councilmember Flynn.
Hi,
Good
good
evening.
evening. Good evening. Once again, you did a good job. I think so. You did a great job. For all those, if you couldn't attend Saturday, we had our grand opening of the Minneola Library. It is gorgeous, so if you get a chance, stop by and see it. But good job tonight. And congratulations to Ken and Mindy and Nicole.
Do you have anything regarding the Christmas parade? Anything?
Mark, have we locked down a date for that Christmas parade? I don't remember right off the top of my head. I know, it's like, don't ask me what it is.
Kind of important.
I'll get back to you. I'll make sure that it's out there for you guys.
All right. I just know Kevin, he sent me an email saying he's not gonna be here for that, and he's the one with the float and the
With
truck.
the float, that's right.
So, hence why I was bringing that up. So if anybody has a truck and a trailer, if they're gonna participate, it just gotta
Nate
think we
just
gotta,
I'm confident you could locate people.
When
so-
Nate just left, we could probably ask him.
so. But that's all I have. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The time's
Adjourned at
8:27.
8:46 PM. This meeting felt disorganized. This meeting felt weird, disorganized.
Yes.
Be interested.
All right, good, good, good. Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone. That's one done.
Yep.